action. We're back.
Welcome back to another episode of Fire the Cannon. I'm Rocky.
And I'm Megan, and we are Fire the Cannon.
Welcome back, Megan.
Well, thank you. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm so good. So we had kind of a mini quick date night. Richard and I had a little quick date night. We went to have some sushi because Nadia is at Westlake High School graduation. And no, she's not graduating tonight or else I would be there. She still has another year, but she has lots of friends graduating. So she went to the graduation tonight. So we had time to run and grab a quick sushi and martini, and we came home and I'm all prepped and ready for our huge guest. How are you?
I'm good. Just running like crazy. I feel like my days are all work and then run home and get ready for some awesome Fire the Cannon. I'm really, really excited about tonight's show. I just have to say this now. I'm going to get it out of the way. Please, y'all, don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps us do what we do. Of course, we are Fire the Cannon and the #1 on Twitter and Instagram. Also, we are Fire the Cannon podcast on YouTube. So again, if you're listening, or if you're watching, please like and subscribe. That really helps us out. So CB, my friend, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We love it, man. You are old faithful, always reliable on showing up for the show, man. So we appreciate you being here and joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we highly encourage y'all. We have got a very special guest. I'll let Rocky dive into that, but please bring your questions, anything you want to know. That's the beauty of a live show. We get to share that info. We get to pass on questions and get some real-time answers. So Rocky, why don't you take it away? Who do we have joining us?
All right. So tonight we have 2 guests this week, but we will tell you. So tonight live, we have 1991 through 1994 Texas football running back Rodrick Walker, which is amazing because not only was he the leading rusher for the University of Texas his senior season, he's now the current president of the NFL Players Association. He runs all kinds of youth camps for speed and agility for youth football. So there's so much to talk to him about recruiting and player development and his story of overcoming adversity and injury his senior year of high school, and his academic challenges and how he fought back to get to the university, and how he just all the things about going undrafted but turning into this incredible NFL agent. And it's just, there's a fantastic story that I can't wait to talk to Rodrick about tonight. So he's been so gracious. He will join us in a few moments. That is exciting. So we have also, we will talk tonight. We have to talk Texas baseball, starting the SEC championship tournament this week. They will face Tennessee. So of course that makes it the Battle of the Real UT, right? That's going to happen. That's going to be a narrative. Lots of awards to Texas baseball players who've just balled out this season. And we will talk Texas softball. Megan, you and I were at the College World Series. It was hot AF, but we were champions. All we had to do was sit with the fan on us. And,
we endured somehow. We
survived 2 games in the heat, but way nothing compared to the women out on the field, right, competing. But Texas advances. Other teams who came in ranked #1 and it's never happened before did not advance. We'll talk about that. And of course, we have top stories, a few top stories we always want to share if we get time for those. That's always fun too. So let's, okay. Hey, Chuck Smith. Hello, ladies. Hello, Chuck. Chuck is Rockin' Diamond S Ranch. Yep. And we will make sure we give lots of shout out and love to our buddy Chuck. So this weekend, Megan, you and I, while we wait for our friend Rodrick to join us, 1991 through 94 Texas football running back. While we wait for him to join us, we will chat a minute. So Megan, this weekend we are going to Mexico, Puerto Morelos. Are you excited?
I am excited. I'm ready. It's been a hot minute. Like for a bit there, I was on a streak. I feel like I still own the record, like amongst your friends, of most visits to the sandcastle. But
you still have it.
It was in jeopardy there for a minute. So I'm glad to get back on track, get back out there, spend some time on the beach. I can tell you, I need it. I love my new job that I have. A lot of fun stuff going on there that I'll talk a little bit about next week. But but it's time for a break. I've been working hard. and I'm ready for a Memorial Day getaway. So I'm looking forward to it. So thank you,
Yes.
as
Yeah,
always, for being so generous. It'll be fun.
it's going to be so fun. So we're there all week. So next week, since we won't be live, we have a very special episode. So you and I last night had the huge honor of interviewing Ty Harrington. So Megan, I'll let you tell everybody about Ty Harrington and about the show that we're going to post live next Wednesday. Well, not we won't be live, but we're going to post a full hour and a half interview next Wednesday.
That's right. Yeah. Again, very gracious, very fortunate. Ty Harrington agreed to join the show. Very gracious with his time, and we just had a blast talking with him. What was it like, when he was captain of the team with Texas? Of course, we all know he went on to a 20-year career with the Texas State Bobcats at the time, Southwest Texas, and the transition to Texas State. So we talk about that, life lessons. And I got to tell you, Rocky, again, I knew this was going to be a fun interview with him, but he was just so awesome. I feel like I learned so much every time I talk to him. I feel like I walk away with a nugget of growing as a person. He's, just a great coach, a wonderful human. So it's a really, really fun interview. Very excited to share that with everybody. So you guys don't forget to tune in next week for that full interview. Again, he was gracious with his time. So we got a full hour and 20 minutes with him. So it's going to be pretty incredible.
Yes, we got to talk about coaching, commentating, the excitement of Jonah Williams, NIL, how it affects, players staying longer, and the how it's affected the product of college baseball. And we had a fantastic conversation with Ty Harrington. Thank you, Megan, for organizing that. Yeah. But now let us bring on, please. We're so excited. We have the #2 overall high school recruit in the nation from Nimitz High School in Irving. He had over 1,200 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns at Texas, led the team his senior season. Please, let's welcome Rodrick Walker. Hook 'em, Rodrick. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hook 'em.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you.
Sir Rodrick in the house.
How y'all doing?
We are great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I just want to make sure that I'm not glitching. Am I glitching or am I clear?
You are perfectly clear. We see you. Yes. All good.
Great. Thank you so much for having me on the show, man. This is my first time, and I'm loving the intro and the outro from the last show, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us. So, do you know CB? He said, "My man, Sir Rod." Everybody knows CB because he keeps us all in line with the right info and facts and pop culture and Texas history.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Birthdays.
I'm telling you,
yes, important birthdays.
He is like our calendar. He is the Texas Longhorn fandom calendar. That man keeps us on track.
CB,
I love
you also make me feel really old when you say this movie was 48 years ago, and I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah, it is, isn't it? All right, welcome. So we have to tell everybody. So you are the 2023 Earl Campbell Athletic Alumnus of the Year Award winner. You were in the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about all of this. You're now the president of the Austin and San Antonio chapters of the NFL Players Association. You have a foundation with your name, and you do youth camp. So we have to talk about all of it tonight.
Let's go. Let's get into it.
All right. So we always like to start with. Go ahead.
No, I was saying there may be a few corrections, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it all.
Okay, great. I tried to do my research, but you let me know if I have anything off. You let me know. All right. So we love to talk about, when we talk about families, parents, students, whoever we get to talk to, we love to ask them first, why did you choose Texas? What was your path to the university? How did you get here to the university? And how do you stay involved?
Great question. One that I think about every recruiting season, and every season that I get a chance to see the new faces on the 40 acres. For me, it came down to Notre Dame and Texas, and it was a last minute decision. And Notre Dame was my first visit, and to go to Notre Dame and have Lou Holtz, the legendary Notre Dame coach, call you before you even get there to tell you that they still want you. for Rocket Ishmael and Ricky Waters to be your host when you go on
Wow.
your recruiting trip. Was it was just eye opening, eye popping. It was tradition and everything that you know about Notre Dame when you went there, and to go into Lou Holt's house and take my shoes off. You know, a little kid from the hood of West Dallas, Texas. You know, to go into someone's house, big house, and be able to see carpet so thick, man, that was just mind blowing for me.
Back when
Um,
people wanted carpet.
right, you know. And then Texas was my last visit. So you have Notre Dame, which was my first visit, Texas my last visit, and the memories that I had with the weekend that I had here with the guys, I think I had a much better uh, time with more people that I could relate to. And I don't know if that was because a lot of these guys on my Texas recruiting trip were from Texas and, you know, the city of Houston or the surrounding cities of Austin and Dallas versus Notre Dame, where people are from everywhere. There were people from Florida, Montana, Missouri, California, Utah. You know, it just Notre Dame was just that melting pot of a school. So being able to sit in that room the night before signing day, I just drew a line down the middle of a paper and numbered it 1 through 10, and I labeled everything as will I get to play here? You know, and both of them got a check for that because my attitude and the way I was like, wherever I'm going, I'm gonna play, right? I'm gonna probably start. That was my mindset. Then it came down to will I be seen on TV? And Notre Dame won that check because Notre Dame had
NBC,
their own network, you know, and Texas didn't at the time. And other
right?
things were like, well, I have my own room, you know, Texas, I got my own dorm room, and Notre Dame, you shared rooms. So it was a lot of things. Education played a part. Graduation rates between Texas and Notre Dame. When I asked Texas, what percentage of your athletes graduate, you know, it was kind of like, what? Where do you get that question from? You know, but when I asked Notre Dame, when I asked Lou Holtz, he says 100% of our athletes graduate. So Notre Dame won that check. So at the end of the night, I added up the checks, and Texas won by one check mark. I
Wow.
wasn't counting as I was going or anything like that, and I didn't even want to second guess myself and say, "Let's do it again. Let me do it over." I didn't do anything like that. I accepted it. I thank God for it. I got up off my knees at 17, 18 years old and ran and told my parents I made my decision, and I chose Texas, and they were so delighted, so happy, and they would have been regardless of whoever I chose, but they were just glad that I went through the process as a young man and came out with a decision on my own without them. I mean, my parents are country. You know, my dad is from Louisiana, my mom's from Arkansas. So you talk anything about a lot of education, you stepped out of their range. So they were just happy to see me grow up and be the man at that moment and make a decision for the next 4 or 5 years of my life. So that's how I came to that decision of choosing Texas.
All right. So, and how do you stay involved now with the university? I see you're always out and about supporting the different sports. You're posting photos with the family and administration and coaches and former players. Talk about that. Not like you said, it's a 4-year decision, but a lot of people say it's a 40-year decision, right? You stay involved with that with the university. How do you stay
Well,
involved with the university now?
Well, the thing about me is I'm always, you know, now that I'm here in Austin, I just like being in contact with the guys, the locker room. You know, the university is fine, but being in that locker room with those current players and coaches, it's just it brings about a euphoric situation for you because it makes you feel young again. It makes you feel like it was just yesterday I was in this same locker room or walking down these same halls or in this same weight room or coming to this office to talk to this coach. And it just brings back the whole nostalgia. And so that allows me to want to, right? Because I want those guys to know that they can count on me for anything. You know, sometimes you don't like going to the coach. Sometimes you don't like going to dad or mom about things that may be that you want to talk about in life. You know, a lot of things happen when you're 17, 18, 19 years old, and which means you have a lot of discipline to be to make sure that you're on top of. So uh, I think my involvement with the 40 acres is always keeping in touch with some of the current coaches when they're there. We're so good that they transition out so fast, right? So someone's always wanting our coaches, but being able to communicate with them, just like last year, me and Tashard Choice, we got so close his years here at Texas, and we text each other often just to check on each other,
Yeah.
not to talk football or the running back room or anything like that, just to make sure that he was good. And if he needed anything, that he could always count on me. And he always checked on me as well. So my involvement with them and keeping in touch with the university is basically just keeping in touch with the current athletes and the coaches. I try to attend a lot of the reunions that we have that they set up for us. That's always a fun time to go back and see former players and the current coaches and Chris Del Conte with his work his magic. So all of that is so much fun, and it allows me to want to go and even go back and talk to the kids and just share my knowledge and my my worth from my time there in Texas.
That's so valuable. Rod, it's so nice to hear you say that. We talk about this often on this show. You hear we say this, Texas is family. And I
Oh, yeah.
feel like everybody that we talk to, every former player, everybody that's been highly involved with the team, with the program, it always comes back to that, right? It feels like a full
Mhm.
circle thing where Texas truly it goes beyond sport. It goes beyond the field. It goes beyond that. I mean, you make family for life. And there was a period of time at Texas where, maybe you didn't see the alumnus so much come through. Maybe you didn't see those mentors as much, but I think that's something and it's great to see you on campus, great to see you back, appreciate, the value of having the guys that have been involved with the program to play that mentor role, to be there as support, like you mentioned with the players. You don't always want to bring your problems to mom and dad. I get that. I
Right.
get that. You don't
That's
always
right.
want to. So again, I love hearing this, and I think that's just that leadership, that mentorship is such a valuable piece that I don't know that not many programs are as fortunate as Texas to have such incredible mentors and support from former alumni and former players. So absolutely incredible to hear what you're doing. So just
Oh
truly
yeah.
appreciate you there.
Yeah, well, thank
I
you. We love
yeah.
we love the guys and we love the university. We did everything in our power to show up every day um, for the student body, right? Of course, we did it
Mhm.
for each other, for the team, right? But we know that we set the tone. The tone of the campus is set by the team, the football team that's winning or losing. Because when you're winning, that campus is popping on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. People are happy. The birds are singing. The squirrels are jumping around. But when you're losing, it's a gloom feeling over the 40 acres. So we know why we did it. We know who we did it for, and to come back and just share the love and see all the new excitement that comes along with it with today's entertainment with the sport is it's always a blessing.
It's
You're
truly
right.
something
When
special.
when the football team's doing well, even applications to the university go way up, right? People want to be a part of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
excitement, that environment, that winning culture, right? So let's speaking of winning
Hmm.
culture, let's dive into the current Coach Sarkeesian. I know you followed the program over the years. You're close to the program, so let's talk about the transition to Coach Sarkeesian as the first few years at Texas. But let's start with this first year in the SEC. I see, on your social media, you're very active supporting basketball and all the other sports on women's basketball, all the sports on campus. And so you've seen this first year in the SEC. We like to talk all the time about how everyone said Texas wasn't ready. We weren't ready for the SEC. And all Texas did was win 8 SEC championships, compete for
Wow.
multiple championships. They're just won a baseball championship. Like all these things are happening right now. But we'll focus on football with you. Talk about Texas football's under Coach Sarkisian, what you're seeing, and specifically this first year in the SEC, the development into this first year, which was a pretty good success for their first year.
Well, I can go all the way back to when Coach Steve Sarkisian first got to Texas and
Yeah.
heard his mission on what he wanted to achieve and how he's always looked at Texas, the Texas Longhorns, as the university, right? Which we are. So with him bringing his his culture. Coming from a man coming from the SEC already, he's seen a few things, right? He's seen a few things in recruiting. He's seen a few things in size and speed of players. So when Texas entered into the SEC and watching the maturity of not just the players, but the coaches themselves. Because as fans, we sit in the stands and say, "Man, why did he call that play?" Or, um, why? Because there was a period of time when we were winning games until the fourth quarter, and then we would lose the game, right?
Yes.
So that was a growth period and a growth moment for the coaches, but mainly our head coach. And I've always said in every situation where there's something new, right? You come in as a new coach and you win outright, you get the big head, you get the big dog, and that transfers down to your players as well, which can mean trouble later on, right? You get cocky, not just in your game, but you take that cockiness to outside, to Sixth Street, to other places that you may go, and think because you had a great season that means that you're privileged and you can get in anything that comes your way is yours, right? So I've always said it's just a learning experience. It isn't time for them to win the way we as fans want them to win right now because there won't be any growth. If it just happens overnight, who remembers the growing pains that they had to go through? They won't. So with them and the maturity of the coaches and the coaches having to learn themselves and reevaluate their own X's and O's about themselves, and then having the kids buy into that culture, right? And then when you have the transfer portal, because I've hurt some kids' feeling, how do me as a coach, how do I as a coach um, handle that kid? Do I say, hey man, well, we really enjoyed you anyway, and good luck to you, or am I a pout faced coach about it, and mad at him for entering the portal, or do I, help the kid and try to find him another place to land to call his home? But when you can't take what's happening around you with the coaches and you move on. I think the coaches have dealt with that graciously because of people that have decided to go into the portal. And they've decided to keep building. I mean, they've worked that portal really, really well. From JUCO from university to university, they've worked it well enough in our favor to benefit us. To have a group of young men that have adapted and grew and matured in the culture that Coach Steve Sarkisian wants them to have in order to them to not only be successful on the field, but successful young men and pillars in their community later on when they grow up. So I just think it's great watching them over the years grow into who they came to be. And I got to make sure that I keep this podcast and share with everybody because when you start naming off all those SEC titles in our first year in the SEC and the first Texas team, because there's another Texas team that was there before us that talks a lot of noise and hasn't done anything since they've been there. I'm excited to share this podcast with them.
Yeah, they had
It
like a 13-year head start, 12, 13-year head start, and Texas just rolled came rolling through. I can see
Hey,
why they
let
walked
didn't
in
want
like we
Texas
knew
in
about
there.
it. Yeah.
listen, I hate to be this guy, but I mean, really, it was Texas kind of slamming open the door and saying, "Daddy's home, y'all." I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a fun year. It's been a fun year, and yeah, that 13-year head start didn't seem to favor them so much. So I'm
No,
also
we walk
glad.
into the SEC now. It's like we're supposed to be there. It's like we are supposed to be here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
originally I was pretty worried because at the time they started, it was in the works. Texas was going to go. Well, we're coming off 5-7 season. It was a mess. Like, oh no, baseball
Yeah.
was up and down. Like, women's basketball was on the rise, but got like destroyed by South Carolina when Megan and I went to that game in San Antonio. Like, it was one of those like, oh no, we're really going to go head first into this, aren't we? And the
Yeah.
women's basketball shared a conference championship. Soccer, women's soccer, gets it started.
Hmm.
The first SEC championship ever for Texas is women's soccer. And, baseball gets the regular season, the grind of regular season,
Yeah.
season play, series play, conference play. They win a championship by two full games, right? And
Hmm.
it's just, we're just so proud. Football, of course, in the championship game, and only one loss in SEC play this year. It's it,
And the only SEC team to win a playoff game.
yes,
Boom
the
shakalaka.
only team to go back to back to the Final Four, right? So like
Yeah.
all these things, and they had to go through the SEC schedule to do it. All these
Hmm.
things are just showing that the foundation of the university, the athletic department is there. But we want to talk to you also about, so Coach Sarkeesian, those things are happening, right? But also what's happening, which is a huge which has been for years a huge like negative recruiting against Texas, has been development or putting players into the NFL, because for a while there was a drought of
Hmm.
players, numbers and talent, and big contracts coming out of the University of Texas. It wasn't happening, right? But now
Hmm.
Texas has had the most players drafted over the last 2 years, 23 players in the last 2 years, and also they've had 3 years in a row with running backs. As you're being a former running back, we definitely want to talk to you about running backs in the NFL. 3 years in a row, 5 running backs have gone. I'm sure you've seen this picture. Keelan Robinson, I took this
So
picture, did
beautiful.
you know that? Keelan
What you
Robinson,
did?
yeah, I took this picture.
That
Roshan
that good.
Jones,
That's a great
isn't
picture.
that cool? Jonathan Brooks,
Yeah.
Jay Blue, Bijan Robinson. First, let's talk about this crew here and what you saw from them and their story and development. And then we'll get into the young cats that are on campus now.
Man, okay, I could just start out by saying they all played their part, right? And either one of those young men could have said, "Man, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of sitting. Let me jump into the portal and go somewhere else." But again, it's something about putting on this burnt orange and wearing that logo, that Longhorn logo on the side of your helmet that makes you say, "This is where I'm supposed to be." And sitting in second string, third string behind anybody at the university doesn't mean that I'm not going to touch the field. I think you just have to be patient, and these guys showed that. They have shown it, and they show it right now. And even with them all going to the NFL, man, that's why. That's why. That's what I'm talking about when you talk about developing a kid. And of course, it's always about next man up, right? Some at the running back position, it's hard to stay healthy the whole year, right? It's hard to play every game in college, in the SEC, or anywhere for that matter. But I think the next man up mentality each one of these guys had, and they supported each other, which is the big thing of all. They supported each other. One might not play in get in the game at all, but if he gets interviewed, he's going to talk about how great his teammate did, the one in front of him, the one who's running the plays that he wants to run, how great they did, and they support each other. And I think that's just a great thing with those group of guys, man. Each one of them take advantage of the opportunity that was given to them at the right time. That's why I always say God guides our footsteps. There are so many talented young men on the 40 acres in that locker room that each one deserves a chance. Each and every one of them deserves a chance. And the way that little effect of okay, his knee is gonna hurt for a couple of weeks, which is gonna give this other guy a chance to come out there and shine, and get on the radar. And when you shine and get on the radar and you never played many times in the game, what that does to the coaches, it says, hey, we got to find a way to keep this guy on the field. We got to find a way. We didn't know that he was going to get out there and perform like that, Quintravion, and get out there and do his thing, right? So we got to find a way to keep him on the field. And that's how they end up playing more, right? Some trick plays, some third down gimmick plays or things like that. Maybe put them on special teams. I don't know. But those are the things that this group did for each other, which is a great group. Man, that's a great picture. You got to get that blown up and have them sign that one.
She does. She does. So, Rod, I wanted to ask you too. We talk about the leadership. We've talked about Coach Sarkisian and the special aspects. You touched on this with Texas. Something about Texas is keeping them there. Can you talk a little bit about that? What your insight is? What is the magic combination with Sarkisian and Texas? What is making these players decide to stay, decide to maybe take a secondary role as they develop? I'd love to hear your insights on that.
Well, I think there are a couple of things, in my opinion, right? Um, First of all, the University of Texas has a lot of money. We have a lot of money, right? We have enough money that if there's a player that we want to keep, we can compete against anybody else that wants him. Okay. But aside from that, because to me, I came to the university because I enjoyed it. I like what they had to offer me as a student, and I love what they had to offer me as an athlete. And then I got to know some great guys that I love being around every day in practice. And I'm talking about it's just 2 a days, right? I'm loving this condition. I'm loving everything I'm seeing. Then these coaches, I've bought into the coaches. They're funny. They treat me like I'm their son. And so I'm thinking, aside from NIL deals and all of the financial aspects of the game today, that just falling in love with your coaches is a humongous thing because it doesn't start when you get on campus. It starts during the recruiting process. And when you feel like the guy that's recruiting me is so relatable, I would do anything for this guy. I want to go and be with him every day for the next 4 or 5 years. I don't even know the other coaches or the other players, but this one guy who I speak with on the phone, who sends me letters, who tells me happy birthday. I want to be around this guy, and flourish under him. So when they get here and then they see all the other guys who have bought into their coaches, and then their teammates, and then the head coach. You know, he's very likable. He's very likable and fun to be around. Knows the right time to joke with the kid, and knows the perfect times to say, "Hey, let's straighten up and be men." He's just a great pal, man. And I think that's the reason why. I think that's why they stay. It's great coaches here. There's a great family culture here, and other schools just can't compete financially anyway.
I think also too, seeing all these players like, this running back room all in the NFL now. So when the current running backs see that, they know, like they saw Keelan Robinson play a role. They saw Jaden Blue
Mhm.
until it was his time play a role. So they understand that if they do their job, like Coach Sarkisian always says, don't count your plays, make your plays count, right? So they understand
Mhm.
and they see it that if they can, do the best when they have their opportunity, then, they get in that, where Sarkisian trusts them for more, or the NFL sees that they can contribute at a spot. So when we see the young guns like, Contravian Wisner, you mentioned him, he got his start off of special teams first year, hard hitter, did his job. And then when the time
Mhm.
came for him to step up, 1,000-yard rusher, right? So talk
Mhm.
to us about this class now. We have CJ Baxter, Quintravian Wisner, Jarrett Gibson, and then the young kids, I say kids, the young men, Christian Clark and James Simon. We interviewed him on the show with his mom. Fantastic young man who's had huge accolades after his spring camp, above and beyond prepared for this level of play. Talk to us about what you know about this young group now and what you expect from them this year.
Okay. I want to just kind of piggyback on some of the things you said first about, another reason why the kids stay here. They see that, if I'm a coach at Texas, if I'm a running back coach, or just one of the coaches that's recruiting running backs, it's easy for me to say this kid only played 6 months out of his 4 years that he was here, because we had so many guys ahead of him that were really, really good, but he still managed to go to the NFL. And so did this kid. And this kid got hurt and he still went. So in my mind, I'm saying, man, it don't matter. First, second, third string, people are still going to the NFL. Texas is still throwing players into the NFL. And that's a way to get me to your college, and that's a way to keep me at your college. Now, this group that we have right now, I am so excited. And people always say, man, with the loss of this guy, how do you think we're going to do? A man with the loss of this guy, how do you think we're going to do? Number one, this is Texas. All right. We're very good at X's and O's. We're very good at saying, okay, we just had um, our top two or three defensive linemen go into the NFL, and the rest of our guys are young pups, right? So we better get into this portal probably and get some more experienced guys so we can stack our players, stack those guys. And when I see how UT does that, not just with the D line or O line, but with these running backs. So many great running backs, and these guys are going to share the load. I am so excited to see how Coach manages to get them on the field a lot together, but also how he utilizes them in their situational and their role playing. Right? We just mentioned that they played their roles on special teams. And made their names for themselves as a hitter, as someone who was disciplined, someone who could stay in their lanes. And then when someone goes down, next man up, right? It's next man up, and they get in and they perform. They get in and they perform. But it's the fan base that wonders how is this kid going to perform if this guy goes down, or when this guy goes down, they say, "Man, who's next? Oh, we got him. How's he going to perform?" See, that's us. What we don't pay attention to mentally is these guys practice every day with each other. It's not like I sit on the sideline or this kid sits on the sideline the whole time while the number one running back goes into practice and he practices the whole time with one by himself. That's not how it happens. All of the running backs get a chance to go with the ones and the twos. As a starting running back, you may get to go with the twos sometimes because that's how it's going to be. You have to be really gain situational experiences out there in practice. And again, those are the parts that we don't see. We just see the guy who's carrying the load, and when someone goes down, oh, we go into panic mode. But it shouldn't be like that. And I think these guys are going to really, really, really boost each other up, help each other out, help each other get better because, yeah, they all want to start. They all want to start. They all want to play. And they all want to compete to do that. And Coach Steve and the new, I think it's Coach Scott, the new running back coach,
Hmm.
they're going to have a
West
job to
Virginia.
do, right? Yeah, they're going to, yeah, from West Virginia. They're going to have a job to do in that backfield. And I'm excited to see because I trust whoever they put in that backfield, I trust them. And I'm just ready to see Baxter regain, some time, reclaim his time back and get out there and show us all what we've seen, the flashes of him that we've seen. And then, everyone played their role from there.
Truly, I love hearing you say that. I feel like we're at such a special moment in Texas football history right now, where it is just an embarrassment of riches, right? Especially as we're talking about these young men that we have at running back. There was a little bit of Rocky and I talk about this on our show. Texas fans a little bit have that UTSD. It's not PTSD, it's UTSD when you've been through some of the pains that Texas has brought
Thank
as
you,
a fan.
CB,
Right
for that
on.
one.
Yeah.
But so we do worry initially when Sark came in, and then some of our, like, we see this player development, but then, oh man, we lose these players. But it is just about reloading time and time again.
Mhm.
Sark, I think, has
Mhm.
proved that. I did want to ask you, related to that note. So we've talked development, we've talked the use of the portal, we've talked bringing guys in. specific to especially the running back position, how much do you think, and it wouldn't be a show about Texas if we didn't bring up Arch Manning, right? So how
Right.
much do you feel that does the Arch Manning effect spread as far as the running back room? Is this something that has affected Texas recruiting? What are your thoughts on that? How do you view Arch in the grand scheme of Texas football and recruitments and player development?
Well, I think that it's that's been a tradition also here in Texas of having the famous sons of some great names that we know, right?
Absolutely.
Uh, Chris
Chris
Sims
Sims.
and Phil Sims,
Yes. Yep.
and you have what's our guy? What's the head coach for the 49ers?
Oh,
Tongue twister.
I know
Shanahan.
he's
Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Kyle, yeah,
Shanahan. Yes.
yeah, Shanahan and his dad, you know, and who else? We've had quite a few, and
The
then to have the
streets.
Manning.
I got to put the streets out there, right?
James
James
Oh
Street.
Street.
yeah, oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
the street
yeah.
like.
So when you people like to come see those people, fans like to come see those people in the stands, right? Everybody would love to see Cooper Manning sitting in the stands. Everybody loved to see Phil Sims sitting in the stands, and so when you get the high profile name like that, who's been dominating. You've probably heard about it. He was even recruited to a certain university. But yes, heck yeah, as a wide receiver, and I'm saying, what, Manny? And all I've heard was Eli and Peyton. Oh yeah, and they got an offspring that's going to Texas, and Texas is recruiting me. Oh yeah, I'm there, probably without even second guessing that, right? But even other positions, an offensive lineman would say, "Man, I would love to block for that dude. I would love for him to throw for 500 yards." And I'm one of the starting five that helped him do that. Running backs, same thing. Arch Manning, I get to go get the ball from him. Defensive players. I get to go and practice and compete against him because if you can compete against him as a cornerback or a DB or a safety, you know what I mean. All you're doing is improving your game. Because Arch is good, right?
Iron
Make,
sharpens
Yep.
make
iron, right?
make no mistake, he's good, right? Iron sharp as iron, absolutely. So yeah, I think it stretches out far outside that locker room on recruiting and helping Texas because Arch can make a phone call and say, "Hey man, I want to throw you the ball, and here at Texas we want you. We're going to take care of you." I'm
Yep.
I'm 17 years old and I'm getting this call from
I'm
him.
hyped. I'm
Oh
I
hyped.
mean,
man,
they
I'm
were
about to
able
pack my
to. Yeah, they were able to reel in a few five-star wide receivers the last couple recruiting cycles.
hmm
Lockett and French and McCutcheon, these really highly sought after wide receivers all come on campus because not only Arch Manning, right, but you have Trey Owens and KJ Lacey and all Dia Bell, now five-star, one of the top high school
Yeah.
quarterbacks in the country. They're lining up to come too, one to play in Sark's system, but once you get that ball rolling of these high level players, it starts to, it's an animal that feeds itself, right? It starts to feed
hmm
itself.
hmm
Philip
hmm
Rivers' son is also one of the top quarterback recruits that's becoming available soon in the high school
Really?
race. Yeah, Philip
Lord have
Philip
mercy.
Rivers' son. I want to say he's 2027, but I might be 26, so I need to double check. But yeah, Philip Rivers' son is top recruit coming next too, and I think
Okay.
Texas has some interest there. California kid like Sark, so let's see. All right, moving on. Get away from recruiting. I love to follow recruiting. It's exciting to me, like
It's
to see.
fun.
I don't live and die by what 17-year-olds do, but it is very exciting to see why
Yeah.
they pick. All right, so let's shift gears just a little bit. And we have
Okay.
so much we want to talk to you. Not to get so let's kind of shift to you have as a coach and as a professional, you have your career as with the Players Association, all these things, but also your history as an athlete. Wanted to kind of get a little bit into just your story and overcoming adversity. I know that's a huge thing that a lot of really experienced athletes and coaches and professionals have had to experience. And you have great advice I'm sure you could share, but I want to kind of break it down into three different stories. So like some physical adversity, especially with, you mentioned this running back, like next man up, this running back room, CJ Baxter,
Mhm.
you know, the injury, and Christian Clark, the injury, and having to, you know, shift focus and reframe your mind from when you thought you were about to take off this season and now you're recovering from an injury. So let's start with physical, overcoming physical adversity, and then we'll talk more about other things. But will you start with that, about how you, your experience, and then how you coach others to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, Uh, you taking me back to when my senior year in high school. It was the first play, first game. I only needed 1,500 yards to have the state 5A rushing record here in Texas, and it was going to be, in my mind. I was like, oh, it's going to be a piece of cake, because my previous season I got over 2,000 yards rushing.
Woo.
And the season before that, in the 10th grade, I had 1,500 yards rushing. My freshman year, I got moved up to varsity my last three games and had about 700 yards rushing as a freshman, only in three games. So, my senior year, I'm thinking, man, we about to explode and do our thing. And first play, first game, I took that ball and like a normal day. And when I got tackled, my left foot was twisted in the other direction.
Mm.
And I knew then that something was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong, but uh, I just remember going to the hospital and the doctor finally coming in and saying, so my foot is still twisted the other direction. The doctor said, so what do you want to do when you get out of here? And I said, well, as soon as we get out, I just want to go back and watch my team win. I want to go back to the game, watch my team win. And he started laughing. He said, well, I don't think you're going to be able to do that because you're going to be here for about 2 weeks. And I'm like, why? It's just a dislocated ankle. And he started laughing again and said, no, sir, you've broken the lower bone in your leg. You've dislocated your ankle. You've torn every ligament and tendon in your ankle. And
Mm.
I was like, man, you depleted me right now. It's not what I thought was wrong with me. But anyway, I went into that surgery, ladies, and when I came out, I had a cast up to my hip. And it was the saddest situation for me at that time because all I was thinking about was the phone is going to stop ringing. The letters are going to stop coming.
Yeah.
I was reading letters since the 10th grade. And that's the only thing that was on my mind.
Yeah.
So as I'm sitting there in depressed mode, my hospital door flung open, and I looked, and this guy comes in, and he says, "Who is this guy named Roderick Walker that has all these girls in this hospital lobby crying, and these balloons and teddy bears everywhere, and these boys down there crying?"
He had the fan club.
And my mom said, "That's him right there." And he looked at my mom and he said, "Oh, I know who he is, Miss Walker." He said, "We talk about him in the Cowboys locker room quite often." And
What?
I knew who this guy was. My mom didn't know who he was, but it was Roger Staubach. Roger Staubach came to see me in the hospital after hearing that
Wow.
I had
Wow.
broken my ankle, and he cheered me up. He was like, "Hey, man, uh, you're gonna get hurt playing this game, but it's what you're gonna do next. When you get up. You've gotten tackled before, and you've always gotten up. This is just a long tackle, just a long
Oh,
tackle, and you're gonna get up."
Wow.
And so that was so motivating for me to hear coming from him. And then he said, "So what do you want to do when you get to college?" And I said, "I want to win the Heisman as a freshman." And he shook my hand and he said, "You probably will do it if you go to Navy." And I said to myself, I said, "Well, I probably won't win the Heisman then as a freshman because I don't think I'm going to Navy." Um, but it was that moment for me, ladies, that allowed me to when he left, I started doing leg lifts with my calves on my leg. I had a cast all the way up. I started doing leg lifts. I was motivated to get back out there because soon after he left, my phone, my hospital bed phone rang, and there was Lou Holtz at Notre Dame saying, "Hey, Roger, we've heard about the injuries. We're sorry to hear it. We're familiar with it. We're not worried about it. We still want you." And I just
That's
couldn't wait to get
amazing.
out of that hospital so I could start working out. And after that, the phone just rang off the hook. I got calls from UCLA, Nebraska, North Carolina, Florida, Miami, Florida State, Texas, every
Wow.
school in Texas. I mean, everybody just started calling, calling, calling. So now my spirits are lifted, right? And I still got to go through the process, though. I still got a cast up to my hip that I have to wear for 3 months, and then they cut that down to a boot that I have to wear for another 6 weeks. And then when I get that off, I take my first steps in recovering. I have a leg the size of a toothpick and another leg the size of a tree. So it was a lot of ups and downs in my depression state. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to. I'm 18, 17. I don't know how to manage this really. But I kept going back to what Roger Staubach had said. He said it's just a long tackle. You know, you've
I
gotten
love
up every
that.
time, and
Yeah.
you can still you just get up from this one. So I take that my adversity that I went through because I still was able to play in the All-Star game that year. I it was
What?
amazing to get a letter from the All-Star committee, the high school All-Star committee, and they allowed me to play in the game. I switched to a slot wide receiver instead of running back because they didn't want me to put pressure on my ankle. So they
Lower
said you can
contact.
play,
Yeah.
but yeah, so you can play, but you want to play this position. I didn't care if I played tackle or guard. I was happy to be nominated out there. So I do the same thing with the kids that I talk to and train on a daily basis. I let them know that I got a kid now. He's such a great kid, and he loves the running back position. But now he's at Lake Travis, and he's realized there are some other great running backs there, right? And the coaches want him to play another position. The funny thing about that is, before this even happened, he just came back from Thailand with his family. He's Korean, and I'm just say Korean. And he came back ready to train and ready to be a running back. And I said, let's talk. What if you get to Lake Travis and they say, hey, we got a lot of great running backs, but we could really use you as a linebacker? Or what if you break your ankle or leg and you have to sit out the entire season? What if you only play special teams and you don't get a chance to get into games at running back or linebacker? You know, I'm trying to go worst case scenario, but you still get, to put on the uniform, because for so long he's wanted to play this one position. He said, Coach, I'm gonna be devastated. And I said, yeah, you're going to be devastated. This is going to be one hard hit, though. It's not going to be a constant hit because you love this game. You love this game so much that you're dedicated to it, that you'll do whatever it takes to sacrifice for your team and your coaches. If they need you to play a different position, I don't think you're going to put your helmet up and put your shoulder pads up and say, well, forget it there because you've worked so hard for so long. And that's the thing that I try to let them know. You're going to get to a certain point where it's not going to be all peaches and cream. It's not going to
Right.
be the way you planned it or the way you worked for it to be. It's not going to be like that. And where do you go from that? Do you stay down or do you get up and let it be just a long tackle, right? And at that point, it's not even a long tackle anymore. It's just a decision to do something else and still give it your 100% dedication because you love this great game of football. So I just try to tell them,
I
just
love it.
keep giving it your all. Keep giving because life is not going to be the way we planned it out. I sometimes I wonder, hey man, is this check going to come? Because I got 3 more days before the lights go off, right? So
Yeah.
you have to understand that life is going to throw some curveballs, and we just got to get good at hitting the curveball.
I love that. It's that Roshan Johnson mentality, right? He came in as a quarterback And
Yeah.
Sark said, "Look, man, we appreciate you. We're stacked here, but we need you at running back." And that worked out pretty well for him. I'd
Oh
say with the
man.
attitude that he had, I think it worked out pretty well.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Earlier you mentioned that you were able to get invited to that, what was it, the senior game at the end of the high school year?
It was
What was
called the well, it used to be it was the McDonald's All-Star game, and then when I played, it was the Whataburger All-Star game. We played it in Houston at the
Oh, it should be
Astrodome.
the Waterford.
Yeah, it's way better name.
But that reminds me of
Yeah.
when you were injured all season, didn't get to play, but got to play at the end of the year. It reminds me of Jonathan Brooks when he got hurt at TCU a couple years ago. We talked about, you kind of mentioned a bit about being injured and still getting drafted. Jonathan Brooks tore his ACL at that TCU game and couldn't finish the season, and he was the leading contender at that point for the Doak Walker Award. One of the
Mm,
best running backs in the country by far, on one of the best teams in the country. Still went first off the board of all running backs in the draft. But it reminds me of when in Cowboy Stadium when Texas played in the Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma State, they brought out Jonathan Brooks in a play to be on the field with his team. Towards the
yeah.
end, the game was put away. He comes out with his jersey and pads and a brace on his knee, and just for the formality of being part of
Mm,
that championship game. So it reminds me when you say that you were able to compete, at the end of the year, you would have done anything, played any position just to be part of
right.
that experience. It reminds
Yes.
me of how the team celebrated Jonathan Brooks in that way, of bringing him out for that. I'm sure you remember that moment.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was such a surreal moment, and it's some tears in some people's eyes, and just the applause, the
It was
ovations.
special.
So
Yeah,
that's so special because you're leaving an impact on the kid. That's so awesome for a coach to do and for a team to rally behind something like that and not be selfish about it. You're leaving a great impact on that kid who will know and understand that moment, just like us as fans, and remember that moment for the rest of their lives.
that's the truth. That's the truth.
Right. All right. So we know we don't want to, we know you have limited time. You've made available your time to us. We're very appreciative. But we want to
That's
make sure
okay.
we cover a couple of current things that you have going on and give that good time. So let's start too with now with your role as the NFL Players Association and how you got involved with that, and what is your mission or your personal goals with being that? And what have you learned in that position?
Okay. Well, I was the president of the NFL Players Association from 19 2019 to 23. And as the president, you are responsible for helping former players that come out and live in your area, your city, where there's a chapter, and helping them, start their next chapter of their lives, right? So the NFL Players Association, is we're the union for the players. So when a player may leave, retire, and want to start a new career in um, coaching, or he may want to go back to school and get his degree if he didn't get his degree. He may want to start a nonprofit, right? He may want to just be a part of a connect group to connect with former players and things like that. He may want to understand his benefits and what does he need to do to get, those benefits moving and, allocated to himself. There's a lot of things that when you come out from being in the locker room for such a long time that you're not accustomed to in, I don't want to say real world, but especially when you leave the football field and take a trip into what we corporate America, so to speak. You
Yeah.
know, you're young, right? You're in your late 20s and 30s, and you still have a lot of life
Yeah.
to live, and you don't want to just sit on your fingers, sit on your hands. So what am I going to do? And being the president, I kind of help guide them to those resources that they may need in order to move forward. Now I am the director of player relations and community relations for the NFL Alumni Association.
Oh,
And
wow.
Yeah, so I'm the guy when we have a lot of these fundraisers. We'll partner with a lot of charities for golf tournaments, bowl-a-thons, just a lot, anything that we can do. Casino nights, which is what I'm planning currently. But
Oh,
we
when's
we
casino night?
July 17th, July
I love
17th.
it.
So I need y'all to be there. Uh, but yeah, so I
Is it
help.
in Austin?
It's going to be in Austin.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll talk
I just
offline
started
about
working on it. I just started working on it.
we'll
You're right
talk
on
offline
time.
about how we can get involved.
Okay, absolutely. But yeah, so with the Alumni Association, it's almost the same thing because these guys have questions also. Some of them go through financial strains, right? So a lot of the fundraisers that we do, that we partner with these children's charities, we raise money to take care of our own brothers who may have a bill that they can't pay for a mortgage or a car note, or may have a medical bill, whatever the situation. We go through some hard times and we help our brothers. So the organization, because the NFL Alumni Association is a nonprofit itself, it's called, our slogan is caring for kids and caring for our own. So we do a lot. I'm the one who helps get all these knuckleheads to show up for these events, and
It's
hear
like
some of the
herding cats,
wildest
isn't it?
stories. Oh, it's
Woo!
worse than cats. Okay, have you ever heard flies?
Yeah, sure. Catching them and putting them in a bottle. I'm telling you, that is not
Herding
an easy
Oh,
flies.
it's
thing.
tough. It's
That's
tough.
not an easy thing.
Hey, trying to get Casey Studdard and Jamal Charles and Vince Young and oh my God, Skate, both Skate, and trying to get all these guys to wake up on time because we had a great night the night before. It is tough, but it's a lot of fun, man.
Bo
You know
Scaife
how
is one of
fishermen
my
get
Tennessee
together.
Titans. Bo Scaife was one of
Oh
my Tennessee
yeah, man,
Titans with Vince Young.
that's a
Yeah.
cool little brother right there. So that's what I do
I'm
with the
sure.
Alumni Association. It's a lot of fun, and again, we get a chance to change some kids' lives and make their lives better with helping raise money for the things that they need.
That's
That's amazing.
absolutely
I love the
amazing.
work you're doing. All right,
Thank
Truly.
you.
Megan,
So
go ahead.
yeah, so on this level, I'd love to ask. I mean, the work you're doing and the changes that you're making and helping so many people, I think that's so impactful, so amazing. I wanted to ask what is the most rewarding aspect of your current role as director of player relations? How what I don't know, what brings you the most joy from that, or what have you
I
learned the
think
most?
I can say helping them, but with my own foundation, the Roderick Walker Foundation, I enjoy helping, seeing the kids, because I donate to a lot of different charities. I donate to the Boys and Girls Club, Central Texas Food Bank, Battered and Abused Women and Children, Safe Place. Um, I donate to all for Alzheimer's, a lot of so regarding whomever I'm donating to, it's just the joy that I get to see. When I go to Dale Children's and I donate teddy bears and have other couple of other former players with me, to see the eyes light up on these kids, to just be able to be there and see something. Number one, they see some really big guys, right? But to shake hands with guys that they've
Unreal.
seen on TV or names that they've heard, or just to
Hmm.
have someone other than my mom and my dad here to see me and let them know that we care for them. And then to go up into the oncology department because a lot of those kids can't be moved or come downstairs. So to see the smile that we put on these kids' faces, to see the joy, to it brings tears to our eyes because we realize how blessed we really, really are, right?
Yeah.
To play this game that a lot of people wish that they could play, but have to watch it from the sidelines. So I've done camps where I've done camps for special needs kids, and um, and it was only for them. We've handed the ball off to kids in wheelchairs and chased them down the sideline and let them score a touchdown. So it's always for me. I love raising money for adults. But when I can raise the money for some kids, that's the biggest joy for me.
Well,
I
thank
love
you
this
for
so
the
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for the work you've done. We've gotten to experience one of our good family friends was in the hospital with at Dell Children's, and
Mhm.
his favorite team was the Buffalo Bills, and they came through with videos and letters and sending gear, and
Oh, so
those
awesome.
memories for the family, the things the family has left for those memories are just
Mhm.
really, really touching. And for the young athletes, the young kids that dreamed of being able to do that one day, but it's not going to be for them. Um,
Mhm.
it's it's it means the world, and they really do cherish that. I can tell you, they
Truly.
really
I
Oh
cherish it.
yeah.
literally, as you're talking about it, I'm tearing up.
I
My
know. I'm
niece.
gonna try not
No,
to.
I know. I literally like I'm all misty over here, so ignore me as I have tears streaming down my face.
All
Well,
right.
that
My
makes three of us then.
no,
It's
I love it.
good
Well,
work you're doing. Good
it,
work you're doing. Those are the
Thank
kind of
you.
things we want to share and get out there, that you and but also a lot of the former athletes, like, that is in their heart, and they want to give back
Mhm.
to the community, and they want to give back to, you know or inspire children and motivate people in the community. So we want people to know you're doing this good work.
yeah, so
Thank you so much. Yes,
on
indeed.
that note, please tell people how can they get involved with your foundation? How can they contribute? What can they do? Please let the people know.
Well, I'm gonna keep this simple. Is one email address. It's Roderick Walker, the number one at gmail.com. So Roderick Walker one at gmail.com. You can ask me anything there, and I will respond with everything that I'm doing. From the fundraisers that we're doing, we have a casino night coming up July 17th, raising money for Alzheimer's, as well as another organization that helps with helping people who've been incarcerated and now out. We help them get their resumes together and help them get a living space, and also help them get a job, which is always the ultimate goal, so they can provide for themselves and not have to struggle, to get back to get back in society, in the community. So doing that, raising money for that, July 17th, I have a tequila that just came out. It's called
Tell us about that.
Dos Cuernos tequila, and Dos
Okay.
Cuernos stands for two horns.
Oh, I know. Two horns. Dos cuernos, two horns. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I have a discount link for those that can order online, and we have a brand new burnt orange bottle we only have 500 bottles, and when I tell you, those are some beautiful, beautiful bottles.
Okay. So how do we
Email
order
me,
those?
and I'll
How
get
do
you
we
the
get?
link.
Oh, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna send you
order
my
one of
link.
those.
Yep. Yeah,
We're
it's so
ordering
beautiful.
that. Okay.
I
So
got you covered. Don't worry about it.
yes, I'm in it. Well, I got your number, but I'll email you. We will contact you about how we can get involved in all those things, because it seems like you have something for everyone. People who are I wrote my master's thesis on Alzheimer's disease and art therapy for Alzheimer's, because that's how my grandmother
Mhm.
passed away from Alzheimer's. So I was
Okay.
inspired by her
Okay.
story to do some of my research. So I would love to talk to you about that part you're doing. I'm
Yeah.
inspired by the children's hospital thing. It feels like all of us are touched by all of these things, all of these
Hmm.
communities that you're working with. So we got to get involved. We got to find ways to help you and spread the word and put in some of our own hours to help you there.
Well,
So
we're
we want
definitely going to. We want to keep you ladies involved in everything that we're doing. And maybe, next year I'm planning a golf tournament, so maybe we can get you guys out to do a podcast from one of the
that would be
holes, or
fun.
before
We
the
would
Yes,
love
event.
that.
That would be
yes, that
great.
would be
And
so
then
fun.
I want everybody to know. I want you ladies to know also that I've um, stumbled into stem cells now. So there's a stem cell patch out that
A
once you
patch.
place it, so it's a little sticker about the size of a quarter. Once you put it on your body, it wakes up your dormant stem cells in your body, and they go attack everything that's wrong with your body, from Alzheimer's, um, thinning hair, vision, if you wear glasses or contacts. There's so many testimonials. I will send y'all what's going
What?
on, and things are happening overnight.
I want to
That's
know about that.
crazy.
Yeah, my hair is thinning. I
Yeah,
want to
people are healing up.
know. So we'll
I
do a
mean, I'm
couple
talking
more.
about.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just
Sorry.
saying one of the last testimonials I had was a kid that had Down syndrome, had never spoken a word before, and once they got on the stem cell patch, they said their first words. Yeah,
Wow.
That's
crazy,
crazy.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so let's talk.
The
Let's talk.
science
Let's
is
get
out there,
involved.
right? The science is out there.
The
All
science
right.
is out there.
All right. Okay. So let's if we have two more things that we want to chat with you because we know you have a busy schedule and we don't want to keep you too long. You have
Okay.
youth camps, speed and agility youth camps, NFL youth camps. What do you have coming up that people might want to sign their kiddos up for, or maybe find a way to get involved?
Oh man, email me again regarding those because I have so many different camps this summer. I just got a call from a guy who's bringing in some international football players from Mexico. About 100 kids are coming over to learn
What?
some American football, and they're going to take some tours around some of the colleges here in Texas. So it's so much that I have going on with NFL youth football camps. We train kids in speed and agility, and we love on them, and we teach them how to be pillars of their community when they're young men as well. So yeah, we have the camps. I also train adults in weight loss and muscle tone, so we have that going on as well. And but yeah, we train in camps all over, all over.
All right. I know they can find you at Sir Rod 3 on X, Twitter. Is that the same as Instagram, right? Is it the same?
Instagram is Sir Rod 03 on Instagram.
Okay. Okay. So they can find you. And I saw you posted those camps and things there, so they can find that
Hmm.
there. So we'll finish
Absolutely.
up if we can with a few rapid fire questions. Is that okay?
Oh, I'm
No,
ready.
they're fun. Nothing embarrassing. It's just fun things,
Okay.
just to get you to know you, but nothing embarrassing or anything like that. Just fun stuff. All right, Megan, I'll
Okay.
let you go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off with all right. The best class you ever took. What was your favorite class?
Uh, history.
All
Love it.
right, the
Love
tush
history.
push. The tush push did not get banned. Should the tush push be banned?
No, that's football. They need to leave it in. Just got to find a way to stop it. If you can't
Thank
stop it,
you.
True.
you can't
Agree.
stop it.
Agree. Go ahead, Megan.
All right. Favorite college football running back right now.
I'm gonna go with my brother, Mr. Oh, he has to be playing right now.
No, just any college football running back.
Oh, hey Metcalf,
Perfect answer.
my
Perfect
Okay.
big
answer.
brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about NFL running back of any time, of any era?
Oh, my favorite NFL running back was a guy that I looked up to who's my age, and that was Marshall Faulk.
Oh,
Ooh.
heck yeah. He was
Yes.
incredible. All right.
Coach of the Rams.
So cold drink or hot drink?
Give me that cold, buddy. I'm a cold drinker.
What's your go-to ice cold beverage on a hot sunny day? Anyone?
Kool-Aid,
Ice cold beverage.
Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid,
Red?
Kool-Aid.
Red?
I bought red and grape and lemon lime. No, not lemon lime. The strawberry lemonade mix,
Oh
whatever
yeah,
that's
those are
called.
Oh,
good. Those are real good.
Yeah, yeah. I bought that the other day. I bought that the
yeah.
other day.
Nice. All right, go ahead, Megan.
I love it. All right.
Mhm.
So beach or mountains?
Beach.
Good
I'm scared
answer.
of heights.
That's fair.
All right, would
That's fair.
you rather win an Olympic gold medal or a Super Bowl?
Oh, I think I'm gonna go with Super Bowl. I think the ring is bigger and brighter.
The jewelry's better, right? You can
The
wear it more
jury is
often.
better, right?
I know,
I
honey.
can wear it.
That too.
Look,
If I was an Olympian, I would have Olympic rings on my forehead. Like
you got,
the world would know if I was
yeah,
an
but you know you're gonna walk around with a big circle on your head the whole time.
big gold medal. Like I wouldn't even have to wear it. It would just be right here.
I would just say
That
I
thing
like
later
your
than won the
answer.
Olympics.
I don't know. I like your answer though, because we saw the medals, the gold and bronze medals from the previous Olympics are like
Hmm.
tarnishing now. They look
Yeah, see?
terrible. They look
It's
terrible.
still a
So
Yeah.
gold medal.
I like your better
They're
jewelry
both
answer though.
great.
I
They're both
respect
great.
that. I
Yeah.
respect that. All right,
Yeah,
so
I can wear that. I can wear that bling bling ring anywhere I go.
anywhere, exactly. You look a little
That's
weird with a
true.
giant medallion, like
Oh, I'll
a
wear my
gold
gold
medal
medal.
around.
Flavor Flav.
Right, right. All right. I gotta ask for movies, comedy, action, or horror.
Suspense and horror.
All right. What's your favorite
I'm
Ooh.
movie?
more of a suspense guy.
All right.
All right.
Man, I
When it's a
like
movie,
you know what I oh my gosh, it was a Netflix series. I was finna say the Ozarks?
Those
Ozarks
are
oh
on
yeah,
that
Netflix.
was and that was
that
that
was
slow
good.
burn. That was that slow
Yeah,
burn. Like you get a little piece, you're like, oh shit! Like all of a
that
sudden
that
things
was
blow up.
me.
Woo!
Hey,
So
hey.
good,
All right.
so
So when
good.
it's
Love it.
movie night, are you opening night at the IMAX or Netflix and chill?
I'm Netflix and chill, but I go after it dies down.
I'm opening night. Like tomorrow night, I will be at
Opening
Mission
night.
Impossible.
Oh Lord,
Yeah,
that's how they set those records. I look at Good Morning America and they say, "Oh, Mission Impossible set a record."
that
Yeah,
was
It's all
because
me.
of you
Rocky.
and
It went
everybody else.
7 times.
It's because
Yeah.
of me. A couple more questions.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump ahead to one. Well, we'll save this for the end. So, Rocky, why don't you ask one, and then
All
I'll
right.
jump into those last.
All right.
Can
What's
I
the
ask
best?
one of y'all two questions also at the end?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, go. Okay, y'all
All
first.
right. What's the best concert you've ever been to? And who do you want to see, dead or alive?
I Well, dead or alive, I would love to hang out with Red Fox on Sanford and Son. That dude is so funny. Him or Richard
Yeah.
Pryor, either one of them, either one
Yeah.
of those
Oh,
guys.
Richard Pryor is a good
Uh,
answer. Ooh.
yeah, the my favorite concert. You're not going to believe this. I went to a concert and I saw Run DMC, LL Cool J, the Fresh Prince, uh, a group called Houdini,
Oh, I know Houdini
and
Friends. How many of us
Prince.
are there?
Yeah,
Oh, I know
yeah.
Houdini.
I saw all of them in concert one time, and they were
Wow.
so good that I was listening to them at the concert, and they said, "We're gonna be in Shreveport, Louisiana next weekend." And I said, "Well, I'm gonna be in Shreveport, Louisiana too." And I
That,
I
went, and
love
me and
it.
my cousin had a great time to see him again. Yeah.
that's a good show.
Heck
That's
yeah.
a good show.
Uh,
All right.
all right. So I'm gonna ask. This is a big question. It's a big question, but quick
Okay.
answer is fine. Can you leave us with the most influential person in your life? Who is the most influential person in your life?
Oh man, my dad. My dad is the most influential, even though he passed away in 2008. I
Sorry.
still make decisions based on if he was alive or not. Sometimes, what would my dad think about my action if I did this, or how would my dad feel about me treating this person like this? Because I know
Mhm.
how he was, and he's a man's man, and he's about respect for everybody and being kind and loving to everybody, regardless of what they're doing, regardless of what type of job they have. And he was sincere in making sure that I understood that, because everything that I have or that's given to me belongs to God. And the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. And if I'm not being godly to my other human beings, then God has a way of taking things from you or dealing with you in certain ways. And I grew up and understood that through my dad. That's why when he passed away, I mean, it was standing room only in one of the biggest churches in Dallas, because everybody loved him. He was that guy that showed love to everyone, and when he passed, they showed love right back. I'm pretty sure a lot of them showed it before he passed away, but that's when I seen his impact, not just on my life, but on
Yeah.
other people's lives as well.
That's
So he's
amazing.
my most inspirational, inspiring
Oh.
guy. I still
You're gonna
think about
you're
some
gonna
of
make
the
me
things
call
he
my
did
dad
and we
right
laugh.
now. Oh,
Call him and tell him what's up.
yeah. I
My
love
dad
it.
is also gone, so
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
the feeling.
Oh yeah.
It's tough.
We miss him. We miss his
Okay, so you said
knucklehead.
you had questions for us?
Yeah. So it's more of a little quiz, right? Okay, Rocky,
Okay,
you first. You first.
okay.
Say the word silk.
Silk,
Okay, now spell silk.
SILK,
Say the word silk.
silk.
Okay, spell it again.
Spell it again. ITH.
Spell silk.
Silk, SILK.
Spell silk. What do cows drink?
Water, probably.
Oh, good. Thought you was gonna say milk. All right.
See, you're trying to catch us on our own show.
I'm
That's
on
that's just
high alert
mean.
only because
That's just
I'm on
All
mean.
high
right,
alert. Normally I would say
all
milk.
right. You're next. You're next. You're
I
next. Here we
said
All
go.
right.
baby
All
cows
right.
do drink
Say
their
the word.
mama's
Say the
milk.
word. Say the word roast.
Roast.
Spell roast.
ROAST.
Okay. Say the word roast.
Roast.
Spell roast.
ROAST.
And what do you put in the toaster?
You put bread in the toaster to
There you
make
go.
toast.
Okay. Hey, say.
Hey, we're
You
talking.
got you
Hey,
ladies are
This
come
smart.
on,
is
we went
only
to Texas
because
now,
we
baby.
are on
We went to
high
Yes.
Texas
alert
now.
right
But I just know that our little brother or little sister, whatever they want to be called, I'm pretty sure they would have failed for all of
Oh, they
that.
always say bread. Yeah, they put bread. No, yeah. Or you put toast in the
That's
toaster. No, you
toast.
put
Yeah.
yeah, toast. Right. Oh,
I
I've
love
been
it.
got on that
Good
one
job. Good
before.
job, ladies.
I love it.
I've
Well,
been got on
we
that
we
one before,
passed the
but now
test.
I've learned.
I feel
You
good. We
did.
passed the test. Stress test is done.
Yes.
All
It's
right.
over.
You're you're so kind and gracious with your time. We really appreciate you.
Truly.
We love talking with the families and friends and alumni, whoever will come and share their
Oh
story
yeah.
and have a good laugh and a good conversation. Hopefully inspire some people. I know a few of the things you said tonight were really inspiring and motivational and educational, but mostly just have a great conversation. And yeah, Megan, thanks for putting that up. If you want to reach out to Roderick and find out how to get involved, he's doing work with the Children's Hospital, with NFL youth camps, and casino night to raise money, and then Alzheimer's work. All these things are happening, and you can reach out. Rodrick, RODRIC Walker1, the number 1 at gmail.com. It's on the screen there if you want to screen capture it and email later, but email directly and find out how people can get involved with you.
It's my name is RODRICK.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
we've
what I
got.
have.
Yep.
RODRICK. What did I don't know what I said, but it's
Oh, you said
ROCK. I'm sorry.
yeah. That's okay. You can
Yeah.
say the K.
Yeah,
We
I'm
got
sorry.
we got it up
CK.
there on the
I'm reading
screen.
it. Sorry, I'm reading RODRICK
See, listen,
Walker 1.
she got the water and the milk thing. It's
You
just the
got
reading
it.
out
Now
loud that
I'm
she
thinking
struggles with.
real
All
hard.
right.
All right.
Well,
Well, we
Y'all
love
see that?
again,
you,
we yeah, I love it. Sir
Rod.
Rod, we got you.
Sir Rod.
That's great.
My
That's
husband
great.
messaged and said he loves your jacket because
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
downstairs. He loves your jacket. So
Tell him
nice.
thank you. A new fashion line I'm starting with a buddy of mine.
You were just a man
Fashion
of many
too.
talents. I love it.
Wow.
Stem
All right,
cells,
we got to
Greatness.
find out.
tequila, and fashion. I love it.
We
I
got to.
love it.
We're going to
Yes.
message you separately about that tequila and that
Oh
jacket
yeah.
and the
Let's
casino
get it.
night and the hospital work and so much to talk
Yeah.
about.
The man never sleeps.
Let's
The
go.
man never sleeps.
Let's go. I
All
love you,
right,
ladies.
Roderick. Well,
Thank you so much. I really
Thank you
thank
appreciate the
you.
for joining
opportunity.
us.
We truly appreciate you. This is
So
incredible. We'd love
awesome.
to have you back on. So until then, we
Yeah, I
appreciate you,
will.
man. Hook 'em. Hook 'em, my
Hook
friend.
'em.
All
All
right,
right.
Hook.
Bye
Good
bye.
night.
All right. Bye bye.
What
So
a
much
great
fun
interview.
having him on. And listen, I can't keep up with him. He is doing everything. Again, tequila, fashion. He's doing some stem cell research, got new on the cutting edge of medicine, doing things with Dell Medical, raising money for kids foundations, player camps. I can't keep up. I'm tired just hearing about all the stuff he
Yeah,
does.
there's like
So
98 things we need to message him about.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
That was a great interview. That was, I mean, we could have talked to him for another hour and a half, but I know he's busy. His time. Yep, CB. Sir Rod knows everyone. I bet he
That
does.
is the
'Cause he
truth.
posts pictures with everyone. Yeah, what a good guy. What a good guy. Like, seems like he genuinely cares about his community. He genuinely cares about his, brotherhood of NFL alumni. He genuinely cares about children. He genuinely cares about student athletes. It feels so genuine. Yeah, so that was a great interview. I'm glad we got to know him a little bit better, and we'll
Good.
see how we can spread the word for him, and how fun he said we could set up at his golf tournament.
I love it.
Let's
Listen,
do it,
we'll
Megan.
come
Let's
we'll
do
come
it,
at you
Megan.
live from a golf tournament. I'm here all day. Listen, I make no promises though if I'm drinking some of that tequila. I make no promises
Orange
after about.
bottle of tequila.
I'm just saying.
They're
I'm
only
just
making
saying.
500, so I think we should buy 100 of them.
Yeah, we'll put them up. I love it.
All
Well,
right.
we have got so much more to talk about still. Again, thank you so much to Roderick Walker for joining Fire the Cannon. Again, we have that online. You guys can check them out. We will post again from our Twitter account so that you guys can see how to get in contact with him. But Rocky, let's jump on. Before we do that, though, I do want to talk about our dear friend Chuck Smith and a little
Yes,
bit that
please
he's got
do.
going on.
Please do.
So if you guys are looking for a wonderful Texas hill country getaway, look no farther than the Rockin' Diamond S Ranch. Nestled on 120 acres in the beautiful hill country near Blanco, it is the perfect getaway with a primary home and two fully furnished cabins that sleep 14. There's wildlife watching, fishing. You can play with the Longhorns, say hi, give them some food, tell them what's up. There's indoor and outdoor eating and cooking, and just a ton to do out that way. Plus, you're only 5 minutes from downtown Blanco with breweries, eateries, shopping, and more. So again, that football season is coming up. Listen, we got regionals right around the corner. If you guys are looking for a place to stay, don't pay those silly Airbnb prices. Check out the Rockin' Diamond S Ranch. You can look them up online at rockindiamondsranch.com, or give our friend Chuck Smith a call at 512-694-1969. Tell him Fire the Cannon sent you.
All right, there's the info on the screen. If you want to screen capture that, 512-694-1969. You can message our buddy Chuck and see about that property if you need a nice place to stay. All right, Megan. So we had a great conversation with Roderick Walker. That was so fun. So that means we're going to condense a little bit of our baseball, softball talk. But we have to talk about Texas baseball and our women in the Women's College World Series and all of this.
Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Oh, what?
Not quite yet. The Women's
They're
College
not. They're not in the. Well, they're in the.
It's not
trying to get to the World Series. They're in the Super Regional.
There you go.
In his NCAA championship path to Super Regional path to the Women's College World Series. Thank you.
Yeah.
One more. They've got to get through Clemson, which ain't going to be an easy road. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Let's start, Megan. Let's start by celebrating some of the big. Ooh, is that Toro?
Yeah, sorry. Somebody is honking outside.
It's all right.
So
let's start by
we're a professional
celebrating.
show here. All right.
Yeah, let's start by celebrating some of the huge awards that have gone out to Texas baseball players after this really successful for inaugural year in the SEC. We talked about this a little bit earlier with Roderick, but they are the SEC regular season champions. There are some national awards going out already awarding Coach Schloss Coach of the Year nationally, but we see here he's been awarded by the SEC Coach of the Year.
Pretty impressive. And look, who can argue with that? Who can argue with that? We've talked about this before, but what an incredible job to come in to Texas. This is your first year with this program, and you come in and look, I'm not knocking Texas baseball at all. I love them. We've got incredible talent on this team. But I'd be lying if I said that this was the most talented team in the SEC. Talent-wise,
it's not. I mean,
the SEC is stacked.
There are better rosters, right?
So for Schloss to come in,
yeah.
So for Schloss to come in first year with this program, first year in the SEC, and to absolutely dominate in the SEC like Texas did. Look, no matter what was thrown at them, there were injuries along the way. There were certainly some setbacks. There were some questions. We had, some hitting droughts, perhaps, some questions there. Didn't matter. Next man up, this is a stellar coaching job. This team was ready to go. And again, for Texas to win the SEC in its first year, off to one of the best starts in the SEC and the best start for the first year in the SEC of any program, it's nothing short of incredible. So well-deserved honor for sure. Let's also bring up, we talk about pitching a little bit. Another SEC honor here is Dylan Volantis with SEC Freshman of the Year. And I love this conversation too. You know, we saw a few people debating back and forth who should this go to, but frankly, Dylan Volantis is in the running for the Golden Spikes Award as a freshman.
Right.
No other freshman is in that conversation. So I don't want to hear any argument about it should be a different freshman, right? If you're talking about one of the top honors in college baseball and he's the only freshman being considered, that's a lock for SEC Freshman of the Year. So congratulations to Dylan Volantis. He's been absolutely nails, the number 99, the big kid out there. Been excellent as a closer for us. Really great to see. Rocky, we got another one here, all SEC. Let's talk about it.
This one is special to me because one of my favorite players, Galvan. Everything about Rylan Galvan, he just takes a freaking beating, but not in a way that like, oh, he's being beat up, in a way that he's like, well, come at me, right? He is so freaking tough. He's one of the best batters on the team, leads the team I think right now in home runs, doesn't he? Like from the catcher spot. Of course, he does it on offense. He does it on defense. He's so smart, so experienced. I'm so glad he's still with the team this year. Galvan and Volantis, who we just talked about, first team all SEC. We know Galvan is also up for catcher national awards for the best catcher in the country. He's a finalist for that award. And you just mentioned Volantis being up for one of the best pitchers in the country award. That's pretty special for the two players. I thought they might have more, but two players getting all SEC is pretty impressive. But we do have more
First
players
team,
who are all defense team, and I'll put this up on the screen. Let's see. We have Galvan, Schussler, Gasparino, and Mendoza all made the all SEC defensive team.
Which a great honor. Again, I got to shout out Kimball Schussler. Listen, this kid has been through so much. And we're really excited to share. We were fortunate enough to have Ty Harrington join us. We had a great conversation with him. Not to spoil too much here, but Kimball Schussler certainly came up there. Really excited for folks to listen to that interview. But what Kimball has done, his journey to get to where he's at right now has been impressive. And we had this conversation last year about swapping between Galvan and Schuss behind the plate as catcher. The move to first base has been nothing but wonderful for Schuss. I think, again, which speaks to Schloss's understanding of his players, of the game, what to do. Incredible coaching move. It has done wonders. And he is one of the best first basemen in the nation. I mean, to watch his development has been really awesome. So it makes my little burn orange heart happy to watch what Kimball is doing. You know, born an Aggie, raised an Aggie, ended up a Longhorn for life. You love that story. You love to hear it. You love to see it. So congratulations to all of the guys that are defensive team all SEC. Really great honors coming on there. So Rocky, let's jump into it. We got to talk a little bit of OU. Like right now, currently as we are live, it is 9:34. And Rocky, what's that?
OU still sucks.
Thank you. So Texas.
We'll briefly kind of touch on the weekend, maybe a couple highlights from that series. Texas won Thursday night. We remember Thursday night was the Texas clinched with that win. They clinched at least a share of the SEC regular season championship. We were all rooting that night for Tennessee to beat Arkansas, and they did, which gave mathematically Texas was going to have the championship outright, no matter what happened. So that was great. And Texas ended up losing Friday, but winning big time on Saturday and closing out the season with a 2-game lead over Arkansas in second place for an outright SEC regular season championship. That's pretty amazing. But I think one of the highlights, Megan, we can talk about this because we were chatting about it as it was happening. Back and forth game Friday, Texas pulled out 7-4, some weather issues or whatever. But then Then Friday, this was a back and forth battle. Texas fought back. It was 6-6. OU did not want to get swept, so they fought hard in this game. Texas fought their way back. And then let's talk about this bases loaded. And when you mentioned the Ty Harrington interview, which we'll preview again in a few minutes, we got into this conversation a bit about bases loaded, and Jonah Williams comes in with the game on the line. And at this point, the series on the line, right? Because Texas had won the night before. What was your thoughts when Jonah Williams came out with bases loaded and a chance to down 6-8?
Well, I'm actually going to take it a little bit before that, right?
Okay.
Before Jonah came in, we saw two. Right before Jonah, there were also two more substitutions. So we saw Jaquay come in, and then we saw Chamberlain come in as well. And I'll be honest with you, Rocky, when I'm watching this, I'm going, I understand I don't get paid the big bucks. I understand I'm not the head coach, but I don't understand these substitutions right here, right now in this game. But listen, what the heck do I know? They got on base. It put Texas in a really good position. And then, like you mentioned, we see Jonah Williams being subbed in potentially for a game winner, right? We've got 2 outs. What could happen? And I'm going to say this right now. I'm not gonna act like I know better than Schloss. I do not. I absolutely do not. But what I took from that really was how much respect and trust that this team and that this coaching staff has in Jonah Williams at his young, tender age of 17. Coming in with that kind of pressure, especially after going under the national scrutiny that he went through during the Florida series.
How dare he get hyped at the bat, Megan?
Right. But to put him in with that kind of pressure at his age, with his relatively limited experience in college, right? I thought spoke volumes for who he is as a player and how much trust this staff has in him. Now, it didn't go Texas's way this particular night, but it was an excellent at bat. I feel like I don't want that to get lost in the mix. Jonah was seeing the ball well. Again, for his age, you got to factor that in there. He was seeing the ball well. He hung in there, made the pitcher continue to pitch. At the end of the day, it didn't go Texas's way, but it was definitely high anxiety for me. I will say that. I think that's a fair thing. How are you viewing it, Rocky? What were your thoughts?
Well, we were messaging and I'm like, wow, that's a lot to put on Jonah. He had a solid at bat. Like it was a tough position to be in. He had a very solid at bat. I think he went full count and then had some, foul balls, whatever, keep it alive. And then I think it ended up being like a pop fly that was caught for the out. But I think the thing about that, like you mentioned, it just shows how much the team counts on him and trusts him, and what an opportunity that will pay off later. And we talked about this with Ty Harrington in our interview with him about it was an investment into the future, because there's going to come a time where you can't get that kind of experience at practice, right? The game on the line, pitchers you don't know, what all the things that are happening. You can't get that at practice or, in a game where everything's not on the line, with a rivalry and trying to take a series on the road. That kind of experience will pay off later. But he is still so young, and for them to put all that trust in him, for him starting earlier in the season already shows how far he's come in such a short time. We have to keep saying he's supposed to be walking a stage this week, right, from high school, and here he is winning a conference championship with his team. So that's pretty special, and those things will pay off, not just in baseball, but when you take that kind of confidence and trust and build that into even the football season, we'll see it pay off just as an athlete. That's pretty, it tells a lot about how much they trust him.
It does. And look, this may have been a very different conversation had Texas not clinched the SEC the day before, right? So it's a different amount on the line, but looking back on it now, you go, well, what do we got to lose? Let's get that experience in. Let's get these guys some meaningful at-bats. Game's on the line, but the season isn't on the line, right? So I can understand the strategy behind it in retrospect. But again, this is why I am not paid to be a head coach making these decisions in these major high-pressure times. So, all right, well, Texas loses the Friday game, but fear not, Texas fans. The Saturday game coming through, final game of the series in the rubber match. Texas wins 9-1. Absolutely dominant performance. And what I loved about this game was that Texas responded. Now, this was the game that we did see some of those weather issues. I'm telling you, I'm going to petition from here on out for there to be a required 2-hour weather delay in every Texas baseball game from here on out. I'm here for it. But Texas responded well. Again, tied up early in this game 1-1. Then that fourth inning, Texas started to wake up and got it up to 4-1, I believe, and then rain delay, lightning strike delay for about 2 hours. Texas goes on to absolutely dominate 9-1, taking the series against OU, which is a great way to close out the regular season. You've clinched the SEC,
Yes.
you've won the SEC, you beat your hated rival in their own home. It was just let's leave on a high. It was a great weekend for Texas.
It makes the travel home much nicer when you won the series and when you won that Sunday, the Sunday game, which this time was on Saturday. But you
Right.
win the third game, the rubber match. You get out of there with a series win. That makes everything much better. OU was the one who was really had more on the line this past
Sure.
weekend. They're fighting for a good seeding. They're fighting for their postseason rankings. They're hoping they won already in the SEC tournament. So they're the ones who really needed to stack some more resume wins, and winning against Texas mattered more to. They needed the wins more than Texas needed the wins. After that Friday, the Thursday, it's when these weekends are.
I know.
After
It
the
throws me
first
off too.
game, Texas clinched the SEC, so the pressure was all on OU. They needed to accumulate more wins than Texas did. So they absolutely put up a big fight on that Friday game, but the Saturday was just too much. Texas was rolling by then.
Yeah, that's true. So again, we love clinching the SEC. We'll roll through. We dive more into Texas's season, what it means, what it looks like, and what the future looks like with Ty. So please be sure to tune in next week for that interview. A lot of great nuggets there. But I do want to say, I want to point out a couple of highlights that we pulled from this season. Listen, we talked about Volantis. We know he's incredible. He's earning all the accolades and definitely is in the eye of the nation right now. But I wanted to bring up Thomas Burns too. Again, he has been absolutely on fire. So Arkansas was rough, but let's be honest, Arkansas was rough. That series against Arkansas was rough for the entire team. We just didn't perform well. But since then, and this is thanks to our friend Danny Davis, Texas reliever Thomas Burns has pitched 4 times, and over those 6 2/3 innings against Florida and Oklahoma, Burns has allowed no hits and 1 walk while striking out 12 batters. His ERA dipped from 5.29 down to 3.80. So a huge improvement at the end of the season here, which I think is going to be really, really important for Texas as we move forward. You're going to need those arms as you go through postseason, as you go into the regionals, hopefully get into super regionals. And then, of course, the College World Series is the goal here. So really great performance by him. New to Texas, he's done really well. So that's encouraging. Also want to pull up, we've talked about this, Rocky, the next man up mentality. Will you jump on this with me? I want to hear your thoughts about this Texas baseball team, what you're seeing, what you love. Let's talk about it.
Well, I keep wanting to say the Ty Harrington interview because we'll post that. But we kind of talked about this with him. They look like and we've said this over and over, but I think it still is important. They look like they're having fun.
Yeah.
They have joy with baseball. Last year when you have a coach on the hot seat and things aren't going your way and you're dropping Tuesday night games that you should never lose to UTRGV at home, like those kind of things pile up, and that mentality and that it piles up, right? But this year they're just playing good ball and finding ways to win. They wear those shirts that say win anyway, right? And when I think about that, like win any way, and they found ways to win, like grueling out 1-run games or coming back from behind or getting up a big lead and kicking someone's ass, right? They've done them all the different ways. But I think that also the shirt has anyway as one word, right? So win anyway. Like you have an injury,
no matter what.
Oh well, win anyway. You're down your starting Friday night pitcher, win anyway. Like there's so many ways to take that saying, but it's it's so clever that, and they're living by that motto right now of win anyway. And of course, they've already exceeded expectations for this season. No one had them winning the regular season SEC, having this record right now, and probably being, they are seated number one in the SEC tournament. But could they be fighting now? If they do well, could they have a 1 seed overall or a top 4 or 5 seed overall? That's very, very likely for Texas. So they've already exceeded expectations with a new coach. All these things are happening. And so, but like, is it too much to say, well, this team is so great, they spent a lot of time at number one in the country? What are the expectations now? Do we raise the bar, or do we just say they've already exceeded expectations and enjoy the ride? Like, that's where we are right now. Like, do we expect a national championship, Megan, because they are such a good team? Or do we enjoy the ride because they've already exceeded our expectations?
Listen, why not both? Why not both? I can enjoy the ride, but also go, you know what? Now we are looking at a team that potentially is going to be the number 1 seed going into regionals. And we'll talk about this in a second. But listen, we talk about this all the time. It's the University of Texas. The standard is the standard. And the standard at the University of Texas, certainly for baseball, is not, we're happy with a conference championship. It's not that. And it's not, we're happy with a couple of regional wins or a super win. No, it is to dogpile in Omaha at the end of the College World Series. So look, I am thrilled with how this is going. If you had asked me at the beginning of the season, did I think Texas was going to finish in the way that they finished in the SEC? Absolutely not. There isn't a single person out there that would have said it. And if they said, they would have said that, yes, Texas is going to come into the SEC after, this first year in it and dominate it. They're lying to you. That is not, nobody expected this. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. I love it. I'm happy. I am relishing in the joy. But the expectations are higher than winning a conference championship, right? We want Texas to go to Omaha. We want Texas to win it all. And is there potential? Yeah, there could be. Maybe that expectation is too high for this season. Now, I'm not going to walk away if Texas doesn't leave with that national championship trophy. Am I going to walk away boo-hooing? No, it's right. You can still be happy in what they accomplished and what they've done. But I did want to ask this in this same realm. SEC tournament is coming up. Now, we know that Texas has clinched the regular season. Funny enough, when Texas was coming into the SEC, we were told Texas isn't SEC ready. Every game's a grind. You'll learn quick, right? Well, Texas learned quick that they were SEC ready. Takes over the SEC. Now, funnily enough, I've seen the narrative shift a little bit. Well, it's not really the regular season that matters. It's the tournament, which, by the way, is absolute and utter bullshit.
The regular season is a grind, and Texas had the best record in year 1.
Exactly. And in a single elimination tournament, you're not going to tell me that that's more important than the regular season getting through the SEC. So with this, Rocky, as we go into this SEC championship tournament, let's revisit. What does Texas need to do to clinch that number 1 spot? Is it important that Texas make it all the way through this tournament and come out on top? What are expectations here? What's important?
Okay, so I put up on the screen the brackets. We know Texas had 2-day bye. Let's see. So they face Tennessee tomorrow, number 8 in the country, of course. If they win that, they have to play either the winner of number 12, Oklahoma, number 4, Vanderbilt. And then, of course, on the other side, number 2, Arkansas, number 3, LSU. It's still, I think that we'll find out what happened with the Aggies and Auburn tomorrow. But either way, you're facing a ton of top-ranked teams in the country. And I would say if they can get past Tennessee, the rest is just worry about having a healthy team for the long run. And of course, they're not here just to be here. They're here to win, right? So, but I think if you can get past Tennessee, that's another resume builder. And you don't want to lose to OU after you just beat them in their home 2 out of 3. I don't know. It's this, no matter what, it's a grind, and Do you think they could win? I would say it's a long shot to win this tournament. If the end goal is really to win the to win the College World Series, you don't have to go all out to try to win this tournament when you could be getting some rest.
Look,
What
there's
do you
pros and
think?
cons each way.
Right,
There's
pros
pros and
and
cons each way. What I do want to bring up, we actually talked to Ty about this, so we want to give people just a little taste of that interview
Yeah,
with them. So let's bring up what Ty had to say. Now, folks, we're
I
going
have.
to give you a heads up. It is a little bit of a longer clip, but it is absolutely worth listening to everything that he said. We're so fortunate to have him on. So we asked Ty, what do you think? Does Texas need to win this SEC tournament, or are there some advantages for not doing it? Here's what he had to say.
I know it. We're hungry. We're drinking. I hear you. And I did want to ask you about the SEC tournament. Texas has now clinched the SEC regular season by quite a bit. Now we're getting into tournament play. As a coach, as a scholar of the game, I wanted to ask, what are your feelings on this tournament? Is there benefit for Texas going in and winning it out? Is there benefit for Texas losing the first game as a single elimination tournament? What are your thoughts on this? Is it a good tournament to play in?
Rest.
Need the rest? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, there's a couple things that you can gain out of this, which is what they've earned the right to choose how they want to go into this tournament, meaning they don't have to win this tournament. Do we as competitors want to win something? Do we as competitors want to go and win it? Yeah, we love that, right? No matter what the culture he has put in to that program is, hey fellas, when we get off the bus, we're going to win. We're not going to just hang out and high five the other team and congratulate them. We're going to win. So there is that mentality that exists, but you get the opportunity if you're banged up and you're dinged up to sit some guys and give them a chance to catch the breath. If there's some arms that are tired, it gives you the opportunity to not overexpose them going into the tournament or in the tournament, because your next reality is you've won the SEC championship. Your next reality is you want to win. You want to go to Omaha, and you want an opportunity to win a national championship. So when I keep saying the word forward thinker, Coach Schlossnagle is, and his staff is, and all those guys are, and Troy, all those guys, and Nolan, they start looking at what does that look like for next week in the regional? What does that look like if we can win that and go to the super regional? What does that look like? In this time of year, people get tired. College athletes,
right? Galvan beat up,
man. Yeah, and so if you can get a rest,
Everyone gets hit with a pitch every game.
Yeah. Look, you make that choice when you get back there, unfortunately, and that's why he's so tough, and that's why he's so gritty, and that's also his mentality is tough too. But so you get a chance to rest some guys if you need to get them healthy, but whoever is going in there is going to lace up their shoes and get ready to go win. And, because they're going to put that uniform on with the idea that we're going to go try to win too. You'd like to get Max Blue a lot of at bats to get him ready. Hitting is the hardest, one of the hardest things in sports. And you got to see enough pitches to do it. That young man fascinates me to no end what he did. He was sick going into opening weekend of the year, and he hit nothing but a couple of doubles and a homer, and just and didn't get to have a ton of at bats getting ready for it. So if something like that, try, but you can also inter squad if something happened and you didn't win, and because it is single elimination, you have the option that when you get home you can get some at bats too. But I think they're going to go in there because and do again. This team is trained to go do their very best every chance they can. And but they have options as far as they're not going to I would be shocked if they overexpose themselves, in a tournament situation that they don't have to at this point. They've earned the right to Like if they don't want to play somebody that's hurt right now, that normally you would have to play to try to win it, because you have to win it. That's different.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So, Megan, so you and I were able to talk with him last night for over an hour. And this interview, we are so excited we will air it next Wednesday, the full interview. He talks about, we will go ahead and tell them, he talks about Texas, his history as the the coach at Southwest Texas / Texas State for 20 years, the pros and cons of coaching and being a commentator, and just his history as both the Longhorn and a Texas State Bobcat. We talked about NIL and how that's helped keep players in college longer. So the product of college baseball. What else did we talk about with Ty? So
Listen, we talked about life. We talked about life. We talked about the current team, what it looks like, what does success mean for Texas, and what his time meant here as a player. And then, after he left UT. So a lot of really fun stuff, a lot of really interesting. Let me tell you, I could talk with that man till the end of time. He is great.
Was
we
so
really
gracious. Yeah.
Really hope everybody tunes in. But I would like to hone in on what he says, for the SEC tournament. I like how we walked that line a little bit, but I've got to agree with the sentiment, right? The expectation is that Texas is going to go in and do well. Like he said, this is not a team that is conditioned to go, we can give up a few. They're hungry. They want to win every game. They want to go in and improve themselves. And they have done that throughout the season. But I don't know that Texas has the mentality that, like, we can take this one off. We don't care about this game. That's not the mentality they're going to go into this. So
no.
I think it's an added bonus if Texas goes through. It's a great opportunity to get some extra, get some guys in that we don't see that often. Pitch some guys that haven't had a whole lot of experience throughout this whole, throughout the whole season. Get them some really valuable, meaningful playing time. Get them in there. Sub some guys out. Let's see. Give our guys some rest too. We talked about it earlier today. We talked about it with Ty. Galvan's beat up. Doza's still recovering. Thank goodness we have A-Rod back too. Max Ballou coming back in is awesome. Now, he's one that I think is going to be really interesting to see what Texas does with him. He's just coming off that injury, and he would have been well within his rights to say, look, I'm going to just recover from my injury and prep for the next phase of my career. But he loves Texas so much, he said, no, I want to come back and try to help this team make it through Omaha, get another championship. So I love to see that. But he is coming off of, a significant amount of time off. So maybe give him a little bit of time in there, see what he can do, knock some of that rust off, get going. I like that concept. But again, as a Texas fan, I'm not going to be deeply offended if I don't see every single starter playing every single pitch, right? Like, I'm cool with it. Let's give our guys some rest. We've done proven ourselves. I love the concept of you remember the movie Babe way back in the day
with the pig?
Well, yeah, with the pig where
I never saw it, but I know what it is.
But the farmer looks down and he says, "That'll do, pig. That'll do." Right? Texas has done enough to prove their worth. They've won enough. They've got the most quad one wins in the nation. They've got the most the fastest start in the SEC, the most impressive start for the first year. Texas has done enough, in my opinion, to earn that number one, no matter what happens in this tournament. So I love it. Caitlin, one of the big differentials of this team is that they are selfless. They play for each other. That's a great observation. I agree wholeheartedly. You can tell these guys really love each other. You can tell that they are in it to win it, but they are in it for each other. And it's fun to watch. And we've talked about this, watching Jonah Williams on the side, in the dugout, watching him go nuts and hyping the team up, watching every single player, whether they were in the game or not, with the skull clap, right? Getting everybody hyped up, big grins, big excitement. It's a fun team to watch. And I love that this energy has spilled over to the fan base as well. It's just a whole different vibe this year. So I absolutely love it. All right, Rocky, what do you got?
Oh, I'm just showing the schedule here. So Texas tomorrow plays Tennessee, 3 p.m. Central Time. Miracle Martinez said, do y'all know of any watch parties for the Hook'em baseball, Texas baseball? Megan, do you know of anywhere people go watch the baseball other than I don't
Look,
know.
your local bars and stuff like that will have it on. I unfortunately am chained to a desk from 8 to 5, so I will have my iPad up, being a bad employee as I watch Texas on my iPad. But I would encourage you guys to reach out to your local chapters. Ezzy, if you want to reach out to the Texas X's Austin chapter, they often have some watch parties going on, or just find your favorite bar in the area. It's going to be big time
There will
TV.
be people watching the game for sure. The winner of that will play Oklahoma Vanderbilt, and then you see the other side of the tournament waiting for their winners still. So Texas, 3:00. The real UT will be determined tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, so that's what's happening there. Aggies, of course, they are they still in it? Did they won again today, didn't they? I know they were big this morning.
Yeah.
I think they had to play twice today if they did win because of the rain delay last night. I don't know, but good for them. So again, that we'll wrap up baseball, and we want to make sure we give some love to the softball before we log out. The Ty Harrington interview, we will post it next Wednesday as our show at 8 p.m. and you can hear everything we talked about with him. So let's make sure we give some love to women's softball, because we were at that game. We were at the game on Saturday. The Friday game we didn't make it, but Saturday and Sunday we were there. It was the the regional with Eastern Illinois, Michigan, double elimination, and UCF. Texas had no problem taking care of Eastern Illinois, run rolled them 10-2 on Friday. We were at the Michigan game. It was hot AF out there. You have this little pop-up fan, which is amazing, and it kind of ventilates a little bit.
It helped.
But we survived, and it was great. So there was the most home runs hit at Red McCombs Field. There were how many? 6 home runs? How many home runs in that game?
Yeah, most home runs in a single game. So this tied the second place record for most home runs in a single game with 6 home runs. The record is 7, but this was in fact the most home runs in a single game at Red and Charlene McCombs. I always mess up her name. Red and Charlie McCombs Field. So really impressive. Look, this is something we've talked about a little bit. I don't want to hammer too hard on this, but Texas softball had an incredible start, had a really great season, but was looking a little shaky towards the end. And it feels like in this regional, Texas truly found their sea legs again, right? They were hitting, they did well. If I recall correctly, I think Texas outscored their opponent 35-6, 36-6, something like that.
10 and 16 is 26 and 9 is 35. Yep, 35-6.
Yeah, 35-6.
Including one goose egg. Yep.
Yeah, so they run ruled the first 2 games, and then it was a big goose egg, like you said, in that final game. So it really felt like Texas found their spark again. They do well at the McCombs Field. They really feed off the energy of the fans. So it was great to see Texas become Texas softball again. Now, next one up is Clemson coming in, like you mentioned earlier. That's no small feat, but they are coming into Austin, so that will help Texas out a little bit there. Rocky, you going to go to any of those games?
Well, Thursday night I will be at Mission Impossible, but I will be home in time to watch this game, maybe by the second inning or so. And then Friday, maybe we can get to that game Friday night. The tickets were sold out. I've been getting NCAA emails right away. Like that's how I was able to buy regional tickets last weekend, general admission for the whole weekend. I got an email. And I'm literally at my desk when I get an email that tickets are now available, because I checked earlier over the weekend. Tickets were not out yet. They're not out yet. So I go online and I get the email, click in, within a minute, sold out for the whole
People are excited about this one. It's going to be a good.
Hopefully, I mean, it's going to be orange no matter what. Clemson wears orange as well, but home field advantage will help a lot. We heard Coach White talk about this this week in different media outlets that, Clemson's really fast, strong team, great pitching. So it's going to be an incredible matchup for Texas, one they will not take lightly, but home field advantage really, really does help. Should Texas win, it's 2 out of 3. So if there is a game Saturday, if necessary, that game will happen too. But best of 3 will advance to the Women's College World Series. So we cannot talk about Texas softball this weekend, softball, without mentioning the Liberty Bibberties. And I see this couple people, TB has said Liberty Bibberty, David Wheeler, Liberty Bibberty. We have to talk about the pitching. So Liberty beat Aggies Saturday night. Was it Thursday, Friday night or Saturday night? Which night was it? I get so messed up with these nights, right?
Friday night.
Saturday night.
It was Friday.
Friday night, because Saturday was that long day. When they're off the days, it just is such a mess. Anyway, so Aggies had to beat Liberty twice to advance, and they beat them. Liberty was up 6-0 within a few minutes, and Aggies came back. It was a brawl. They went to extra innings, and Aggies won. Good fight. The next game was crazy exciting. Richard and I were watching this game, and they brought in a pitcher. Apparently, her name is Yoder, and they hadn't even used her this entire regionals. And they bring her in, and she was just nailed. She would like throw a wild pitch, and then throw something crazy, and then strike. And then it was the most crazy pitching, but she did her job, and she was amazing. And here's the
job done. Payoff is on the way. Swing and a miss. Ball game over. Liberty breaks through. It does the unthinkable.
All right, so they're the first team ever to eliminate since they've been doing this format for 20-something years. Aggies are the first number one ever to go down in their own regional. Could it be more Aggie? Congrats to Liberty.
Look,
they balled out. They played so well. We watched all the games.
Yeah, they played hair on fire for sure. And I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I gotta say, as a Texas fan, it has been pretty incredible because, and I said this on the show, that A&M softball team is loaded. It was a scary team. I thought that was a team that had all the stuff to go all the way. So for Liberty to come in and eliminate A&M from their own regional as a number one seed, nation number one seed, is really, really, really impressive. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't want to rub salt in the wound too much because I got so many things to say about it, but Aggie gonna Aggie, right?
Well, you and I were talking about this while we were watching Texas. Like we were saying how this, like you just mentioned, 35 runs they scored in over 3 games this weekend. We were saying like this is the perfect time for the bats to be on fire because they had been sluggish the last few games and lost a few games late because they couldn't get their bats going. And against good Michigan team, Eastern Illinois team, a UCF team that beat Michigan, against these teams, they had their bats on fire. And I was saying, this is a great time. I don't know if they'll get through, OU or these other teams at the end, and you were like, A&M. I said, you know what? The Aggies are going to Aggie though. Something feels like, I told you.
Death, taxes, and A&M failing to meet expectations.
Yeah, fantastic talent. Everything's in line, but something tells me the Aggie's going to Aggie. And, if ever there was a team that finds a way to find a way, I don't know. Yeah, David Wheeler, we were the Aggies Super Bowl this year. They hate when we say that, but they sure throw out that game to excuse their loss. It seems like some fans are happy to throw out that 12-run, which is a butt kicking in the SEC tournament. They're happy to take that over being eliminated at home as the number one seed. So good luck to the softball women as they play. They have a game Thursday night, 8 p.m., Friday night, 8 p.m., and hopefully we've cleaned house with Clemson and do not need a Saturday game. But should they, there will be a Saturday game. All right, Megan, let's show one more last thing before we wrap up. I want to give massive props to Texas football. 3.31 GPA, which is a new team record for Texas football. That is a massive GPA to have at an academic university like University of Texas. Don't let anyone tell you on social media that you have to dumb down the students in order to get a good football team. You do not. You can have both. Texas football under Coach Sarkisian is proof that you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So congratulations to football. Y'all, there's a lot going on in the 40. We're going to see what happens in the SEC tournament. We're going to see Of course, Texas softball looking to take on Clemson and advance to the Women's College World Series. So be sure to tune in. Again, we're going to re-emphasize, please be sure to like and subscribe. Again, we are Fire the Cannon Podcast on YouTube. Give us a like on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. We are Fire the Cannon and the #1. We appreciate y'all being here. Next week, tune in. Rocky and I will be out of the country, but we have a wonderful interview with Ty Harrington. Just absolutely incredible stuff, really insightful. I felt like I walked away a better human for hearing him and for talking with him. I hope you guys do too. So please don't miss that. Until then, y'all, we appreciate you being here. As always, I'm Megan.
I'm Rocky, and special thanks to Roderick Walker for joining us tonight. Massive thank you.
Absolutely.
And we are Fire the Cannon.
Hook 'em, y'all.